Hello to anyone who's actually watching this video. On this one I'm going to do a review of Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Yes, the boys and I at the Out of Basement podcast will be talking about it, and hopefully an upcoming episode. But in the meantime, I'm actually going to go through more of a review here than on the podcast. To start with, I've seen it twice, both in 3D and in 2D. And overall, great movie. Loved it. Writing sharp, really good acting. The direction, can't complain. Overall, one of the best movies. Not just a Marvel superhero movie, but a really good action movie overall. I preferred 2D to 3D though. For some, especially for the fight scenes and the CGI stuff, was just a little too much for me in 3D. It was a little hard to follow or a little out of focus. Whereas in the 2D, it was, for me, just an overall better experience. Now, for the acting, again, I can't complain. It was great. Chris Evans, nails Captain America for the whole, out of place, out of time, different perspectives than the modern world is. The story, I'm not going to give any spoilers yet. I'll let you know later on when I get more in detail. Those will be spoiler alerts. Everyone's done a lot. It's a political thriller as well as sort of a superhero movie. Although technically, Captain America is just barely, a superhero by some of the more modern view of superheroes compared to Hulk, Thor, Flash, those ones. Yes, he's more than a normal human did because of super serum, but not that much more. He still gets into fights with well-trained guys who can actually, give him a challenge. Example, the fight scenes in the beginning of the movie. Now, again, I'm not going to say too much more until I give you the alert for spoilers. That's one thing I really enjoyed, actually, was the choreographed fight scenes between, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Falcon, and all those people. Black Widow, really well done. Well choreographed. Everything was perfect. The CGI fight scenes at the end, or the big ships and all that sort of stuff. You've seen the trailers; they're there. It's not great. It's good. It's well done. But again, this has been done a lot of times in a lot of different movies. So it's acceptable. It's it's great. Yeah, it's okay. Nothing to write home about. And like I said, I preferred it in 2D to 3D because of some of the graphics. And now I'll just give spoilers because I'm going to be talking about different stuff that back and forth that you may, or if you haven't seen the movie, stop, and you don't want any spoilers, stop now. Robert Redford does a great job as the, double agent. It goes back to the days of, the early political and sort of espionage movies from the 70s and that, where he was in. And this is why I'm actually happy that it worked, because now Black Widow or a Hawkeye movie can work, because they, again, no powers, just, really well skilled. Or even a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie now, because it's shown that you can do the movie without having superheroes. So, in my mind, this is great for continuing sort of different types of Marvel stuff. You could have with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you could actually now do a full S.H.I.E.L.D. movie. And sort of, just have a bit, maybe supers here and there, but not be the focus of the movie. Same as Black Widow and Hawkeye. Again, now you can start doing a, sort of more espionage type thing, yes, with super gadgets, so sort of a Marvel version of, Bourne Identity or James Bond. Which, like I said, again, it gives them different types of movies they can work towards, which I'm happy with. Now, again, for the writing, there is so many in-jokes or little sequences here and there that touch on other movies or other Marvel stuff. I have to buy the DVD because at the end, when they're targeting all these people, the names are popping up so fast. And I know there's a lot of Marvel names in there that I would love to pause and go, oh, that's from an X-Men, or that's from Captain Avengers, or that's from there and there. They mentioned Doctor Strange a few times, twice actually. And again, this is getting the fanboys hopeful that there might be a Doctor Strange movie. I don't know if that'll happen or not, because that's sort of harder to do for a lot of things. But, if Guardians of the Galaxy's work, they might be willing to risk it, which would be great. I would love to see Marvel get the mutant name back so they can actually start calling mutants instead of leaving it to Fox with the X-Men movies. Now, another, like I said, the writing here is well done. There's, and again, now, sometimes I'm not sure if it's a well done writing or just they didn't pick up on a mistake. When Fury shows up at Captain America's apartment and gets shot, his roommate, his neighbor, Sharon, Agent 13, comes in and basically says, Director Fury's down. She doesn't say anything more, just Director Fury's down. They ask, what's the 20 on the shooter? Now, it's going so quick, no one's like, but I saw it twice. But in the scene, they just don't pay attention to what they ask, besides the fact that they asked, where's the shooter? Not realizing that she actually didn't say it. That was this was well done writing, that's like a hint that the people are aware already that Fury was shot, and they're just trying to find out if Captain America knows who it was or if he's on the tail of the shooter or not. Like I said, I'm hoping they wrote that in there because that's a really well done little hint that you have to pick up to show that S.H.I.E.L.D. already knew what was going on, and that was like the first clue that, or another, not the first clue, but another clue that S.H.I.E.L.D. has been compromised because they already knew about Fury being shot. Now, some people might not be happy with the fact that, hey, how did the Winter Soldier / Bucky, know he'd be at Captain America's place? Well, again, this is because they know Captain America and Fury have a connection. Why did he wait till Fury started talking to him? This I can overlook because, as a writer, when you're trying to do certain things, you need things to continue forward to continue the story. So they did this in a way that, yes, it's Bucky, Winter Soldier should have technically taken him out before he, got into his house. But they needed to have him live long enough to start the clue to get the thing going. So this is not, I'm not nitpicking here, I'm just saying that it works because as a writer, you have to be able to do these sort of coincidences to keep the plot moving in a lot of times. So, again, I liked it, well done. The scenes at the end, though, were some, like I said, the fighting scenes were a little too much. And the other one I have, though, is this is where the ending comes into place, is where they put in the targeting ones to replace the existing targeting systems on the helicarriers. And this basically targets each helicarrier against its other. Now, Fury, when he was giving the chips to Captain America originally, was saying that S.H.I.E.L.D. was going to survive. So he had planned that these targeting systems were going to take out the Insight helicarriers, but S.H.I.E.L.D. would still be alive. So I was thinking that no, Fury wouldn't sacrifice the 3 helicarriers and all the people. That's a lot, especially over, Washington. It's a huge battle that will cause lots of, collateral damage, as they say. So this is where I had an issue. It was like, Fury should not have planned to have the targeting systems target each other. It would have more of just completely shut down the targeting system and then maybe even, throw locked controls or something so that S.H.I.E.L.D. Command could then take control and, board and, take out the Hydra agents that way. I don't see Fury blowing up all 3 helicarriers just like that. Maybe it was, but like I said, for me, I would have seen Fury more finding a way to try and just disable completely the targeting systems, and lock down the navigation and lock down the helicarriers so they can't be a threat and they couldn't go anywhere, and then gives time to S.H.I.E.L.D. to, slowly try and take them over. Now people go, well, no, Captain America said S.H.I.E.L.D.'s got to go down as well. That was after the targeting chips have already been shown and were designed. So, like I said, I don't think Fury would have designed them to take out their helicarriers themselves. Possibly, some last-minute thing. However, I think that, again, my opinion, it would have been more, locking them down and closing off the navigation systems and the targeting system for me. But that's my big beef with it. Zola, I know, so I've seen some other people talking about Emil Zola, of how he didn't back himself up or something like that. Well, we don't know yet. Yes, he was in that one database that they got a hold of, and his old computer systems. But we don't know there's not another Emil Zola yet. He could have easily backed himself up somewhere that's now slowly coming online. So it still could be there that Emil Zola could still be around in an AI somewhere else. Just because Hydra said they sacrificed him doesn't actually mean that he's actually dead. Now, going on to the very, very end, the tail scenes. Again, this is where I wish Marvel had the mutant name again, so they could have called the twins mutants instead of experiments. But I can live with it if they're, necessity, right? They can't say mutants, so they have to find some other way around. So I'm looking forward to Avengers 2 when Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver come out. Again, I'm not going to diss the Quicksilver costume like everyone else has done. I'm going to wait till see, again, the finished product and go from there. I'm sure the way they've done other costumes and other people, that it's actually going to look pretty good. Pre-production, it's hard to tell. And sorry, I'm saying and so a lot. I'm doing it on the fly right now. I, again, really appreciate the movie. It ties in with the Marvel Universe, with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I haven't seen them all, but it does tie in there. And it said it gives Marvel a chance to start doing non-superhero movies, or opens the door for a Black Widow movie for sure, Black Widow and Hawkeye movie for sure from what happened at the end. And now the Guardians of the Galaxy ties in, I think, with Loki's scepter they had at the end. But I'm not too sure. It could be other things. So, in the end, I recommend it highly. I'd say if you haven't had a chance to go see it in the theaters, go. Definitely, if not, get the DVD and add it to your growing Marvel collection. Anyways, thank you very much. Like I said, there'll be a little talk about it on the Out of Basic podcast, but I just wanted to give you more heads up. Thank you.